Chapter 4, Socialization. We'll be talking about how humans are spoiled by civilizations. What? Well, social behaviors we consider natural is actually learned through different forms of participation, and it's how we distinguish different cultures. Socialization is the process of learning to participate in group life. Personality is the organized attributes, attitudes, beliefs, values, and other behaviors we associate with an individual. Now, what would happen to a person's personality if they were never socialized? We can't really test this on humans, but we have done it on monkeys. Scientists isolated some monkeys and they showed behaviors of distress, empathy, and became very hostile and experienced a lack of normal sex experience. When the time came for them to have their own offsprings, they became very abusive towards them. Even though we're unable to test this on humans, there are still some case studies that have shown children being isolated at a very young age. It has severely affected them and even causing mental retardation. There's Anna. She was left alone until the age of 5. She showed no signs of intelligence, could not walk or talk. 2 years of therapy and trying to rehabilitate her. She had the mind of a 19-year-old infant, and sadly, at the age of 10, she passed away, only showing signs of the development of a 2-year-old. There's Isabella's mother, whom feared her child would be rejected in society, so she kept her locked away in a closet in a dark room with her and Isabella. They only communicated using gestures. Then when she was found, her actions and mental stability was that of a 6-month-old infant. 7 years of rehabilitation and being in a caring and loving environment, she was able to act normally in her grade level, and at the age of 12, she was participating in most of her school activities. Even though she was placed in a lower grade level because her mental stability wasn't there, we were still able to fix her, correct her, maintain her. This was mainly due to her interactions she had with her mother at such a young age. Then there's Jean, who was kept isolated since she was an infant. She was punished for making any types of vocal noises. She actually didn't wear clothes. This actually made her unresponsive to temperature. After 4 years of rehabilitation and care, she only can speak short phrases. All these stories are very unfortunate and tragic, but they show how crucial socialization is needed to be able to create a functioning human being and to act correctly in society and not to function like a beast. This is known as deprivation dwarfism, when a child is deprived from emotions and social interactions. Theoretical perspective in socialization is when people fit into groups by different ways of learning their culture. See, functionist theories view this as everyone fits into their own social class in order to create stability, while conflict theorists believe that socialization makes people learn their roles and learn their status and learn their social fate. Symbolic interaction is believed that people develop their own self-concept and roles through symbols and language and interpret their social environment. Charles Halpton and George Mead started the idea of symbolic interactionism and created the term self-concept, an image of oneself as an entity separated from other people. The looking glass self is a self-concept-based perception of people's judgment on us. 3 stages of this. There's the first one, is how we imagine we appear to others. Then, we imagine the reaction those people would have towards us. Lastly, we evaluate ourselves according to how we imagine the situation and how it went in real life. This can actually be distorted since it's based off our imagination. We tend to have more positive outcomes, while people with power tend to look down upon those who aren't in power and below them. Hashtag don't judge a book by its cover. A significant other is a person that we value their judgment, which is really important to our self-concept. The people like our mothers, our best friends, our life partners. Role-taking is a process that allows us to take a viewpoint of another individual and able to respond to them because we already saw ourselves in that certain predicament and are able to handle that situation. So it's kind of confusing, but hashtag do to others what you want done to you. Role-taking happens because of 3 different stages we have in our development as a human being. First is the imitation stage, which is around 1 or 2 years old, or between those two, and childs imitate their parents without really understanding what's going on. The next stage is the play stage, which children take on roles besides themselves, and the last stage is the game stage, when children tend to take on different situations simultaneously. For example, when you play baseball, you have a pitcher and you have a batter. To be able to play the game, you have to understand what both parts do. We also have to look at ourselves and how we perceive ourselves, because the term me serves as us working together as society, but I is a concept that we are separating ourselves from society and our own work. The sociological perspective, personality. There's three parts to this. There's the ID, which is our humanish pleasure side. It's kind of selfish, it's irrational, it's our animalistic side. The ego is the rational part of our personality that plans out things. And our superego decides what's right or wrong. And all these things are constantly fighting each other. And guess what? They make your personality. This is the most important part of the chapter. And there are several key terms you need to know. There's desocialization, which gets rid of old ways and habits. Resocialization is when we adopt new norms and new habits. And I can't really say this one. Anticipatory socialization prepares us for new norms and new habits. And a total institution separates us from society. So places like prisons, mental hospitals, anything that separates us and strips us down of our personality. A reference group is a group of people you look up to, while a peer group is composed of individuals roughly around the same age and the same interest. Mass media is any means of communication to the general public, which tends to have a large influence in our society. Well, that's basically the chapter, and I can't wait to see you guys next video.